We live in a world marked by conflict, division, and suffering. Our daily lives are filled with news that speak of violence, tragedy, and injustice. Yet in the midst of this chaos, there is a message that comes like a light in the darkness. The Virgin Mary, Mother of us all, invites us to stop, reflect, and act to bring peace and hope to a turmoil. This message is not a simple spiritual call, but a concrete guide to face tribulations with faith, prayer, and actions that can truly make a difference. Before we delve into the heart of this message, let's take a moment to invoke divine guidance through prayer, an act of faith that unites and strengthens us. O Virgin Mary, Mother of Peace, hear the prayers of your children. Intercede for us with the Lord, that we may find strength and courage in the most difficult moments. Help us to recognize the value of faith, to love unconditionally, and to work tirelessly for justice. May your love guide us in bringing relief to those who suffer, hope to those who are desperate, and light to those who walk in darkness. We entrust to you our hearts, our families, and our world, confident that with your intercession, every evil can be defeated. Amen. If you feel the urge to share your faith, write Amen in the comments. This small gesture can be the first step to inspire others and create a community of prayer and hope. In recent months, the conflict between Israel and Palestine has reached devastating levels of violence. Images of injured children, broken families, and entire communities reduced to rubble have traveled around the world, touching the hearts of millions of people. But the suffering is not limited to war zones. In refugee camps in the Middle East, thousands of people live in inhumane conditions, deprived of essential resources, while international tension continues to grow. The Virgin Mary invites us to see these events not only as political or social issues, but as signs of the times, which require a deep and conscious response. We are called not to judge, but to reflect, not to close ourselves, but to open ourselves to others, recognizing that global peace begins with small gestures of reconciliation and love in our daily lives. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict is not just a fight for territory. It is a symbol of something bigger. The battle between good and evil that manifests itself in so many aspects of our lives. On one side are those who seek peace and justice. On the other are those who fuel hatred and division. The Virgin Mary invites us not to forget that every war, every conflict is the result of hearts far from God. This does not mean giving up or passively accepting injustice. On the contrary, it asks us to fight evil with spiritual weapons, prayer, love, and moral integrity. Evil triumphs only when good remains silent. That is why we must be active, aware, and united. Even away from the battlefields, we see divisions that undermine our cohesion as a community. The legal charges against former U.S. President Donald Trump have sparked controversy that deeply divides public opinion. Some defend him as a persecuted man, others accuse him of being a symbol of corruption and abuse of power. But what does all this teach us? Mary invites us not to fall into the trap of polarization. It is not up to us to judge, but we can pray that the truth prevails. In these cases, human justice may seem uncertain, but divine justice is always perfect. It is this trust in God's plan that allows us to face uncertainties with serenity. The Virgin Mary asks us not only to pray, but to take concrete action to bring relief to those most in need. I will tell you a story that deeply touched me. A woman who had lost everything, family, home, job, because of the war, told how prayer had saved her. Every night, she said, I knelt down and asked God to give me strength, and even in the darkest moments, I felt that I was not alone. This testimony reminds us that prayer is not just an act of faith, but a source of real strength. It is a bridge that connects us to God and others, allowing us to overcome obstacles that seem insurmountable. Mary reminds us that praying is not enough. We must also act. This means supporting those in need through donations, volunteering, or simply showing empathy and compassion. Every gesture counts. A smile, a kind word, a helping hand can change someone's life. Have you ever thought about how you can make a difference in your community? Maybe there's a neighbor who needs help, a friend who's going through a difficult time, or an organization that could benefit from your support. Mary invites us to look beyond ourselves and see the needs of others. If you feel this message touches you, share it. Write a reflection or a personal experience in the comments. Every word can inspire someone else to take a step towards change. The Virgin Mary reminds us that despite divisions, we are all children of God. Peace is not an unattainable dream, but a responsibility that we can assume every day. It begins with small gestures, forgiving a wrong, reconciling a broken relationship, choosing dialogue instead of conflict. Peace begins with us, and when we cultivate it in our hearts, it radiates to others. This is Mary's fundamental message. We are called to be bearers of peace, not passive spectators. Sometimes when we look at the world, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. We ask ourselves, why does God allow all this? But the Virgin reminds us that every event, even the most painful, has a deeper meaning. God has a plan for each of us, and even if we don't always understand it, we can trust that everything works together for the good. The challenge is to keep the faith even in the most difficult moments. Prayer helps us do that. It reminds us that we are not alone and that every step, however small, brings us closer to God. If you feel that the world needs more peace, love, and justice, we invite you to join us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more inspiring messages from the Virgin Mary. Share this video with the people you love and activate the notification bell to stay up to date. Every subscription, every share is a small act of faith that can make a big difference. Mary calls us to be protagonists of change. Are you ready to respond? Write in the comments, I am here, if you feel you want to be part of this mission of faith and hope. Together, we can build a more just, more compassionate, more united world.